Your advisor at CGU is usually assigned to you by your department. Your initial interactions with that person will be task-oriented, especially around planning the courses you need to take to meet your degree requirements. If you are a master's degree student, most of your interactions may stay focused on meeting degree requirements. If you are a PhD student, your relationship with your initial advisor will change depending on which phase of the PhD program you're in. You may also change your advisor when you begin working on your dissertation. To learn more about post-coursework advising, see the videos in the series titled Navigating Post-Coursework. During the early meetings with your advisor, you may want to explore what each of you expects from the advising relationship so you can determine if you are in agreement. Here are some ideas from faculty on how to have a productive first advising meeting.
When I meet with a new student, usually there's a specific task that we need to do. So in particular, to get them registered for the first semester. But I usually do then talk to them about the fact that after that initial meeting, that the advising relationship is kind of up to them, that it's open for it to be a broad variety of things, from meeting pretty often to meeting very rarely.
I think both parties have a really important responsibility in the mentoring relationship. And as in every relationship, it's often about clarifying those expectations. So there's also a fair amount of research literature to back up this finding that good mentor-mentee relationships start with some clarifications about expectations. So it may not be the same for every faculty member. In my mentor relationships, I usually ask my mentees to come to each of our meetings with a particular output in hand. So if they are reviewing literature, I will ask them to bring some article summaries. If they're struggling with research questions, I will ask them to provide a draft list of some questions. And those don't have to be perfect, but they give us a grounding or a framework to start our conversation so that our time together is focused and can be as helpful, hopefully to them and also to me, so that I can prepare what it is that I may be needing to provide.
I think one of the most important things for a student to keep in mind when they approach an advising relationship is that they need to bring some things to the table too. They cannot just be passive in this relationship, but they can and should expect a really robust relationship, a kind of give and take. They can ask questions. They can even set the terms at the very beginning in terms of, these are the things I'm struggling with, or these are the things that I feel like I need. This is where I'm at in my career and in my training right now. This is where I want to go. And so how do we get there? So as much as the students can bring to the relationship, it's better.
Well, one really important thing for them to tell me about is, what is your career goal? Do you want to use this? Most of my students are doing a PhD, so I ask them if they want their PhD to help them advance in their current position, or do they want to make a switch to an academic career, tenure track job? And that's really important to know up front, because students interested in going out on the academic job market need to be starting from day one, going to conferences, networking, writing articles for publication. But I think it's okay for students to just say to their advisor in the initial meeting, what should I be asking you? What should I be telling you? Because, there's no inherent knowledge in how to work with an advisor. So I think that should be the first question that students ask is, what should I tell you about me, and what should I know about you?
I think being very frank about, what it is that you potentially need from an advising standpoint. So as I mentioned, a student who's working on their dissertation or dissertation proposal, and if they are gaining a lot of momentum and they just are in a place where they need a lot of feedback in order to continue that momentum, then it would make sense to have much more regular or frequent meetings at shorter intervals. So once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on what their needs are. There are certain points where the student may only need to meet once a month just as a check-in. And so, and the purpose of that check-in may vary from project or depending on the stage that they're at. They may sometimes need to meet once a semester just to do an overall check-in on progress, because they have in a stage where they're collecting data and the analysis. So there really isn't that need to meet on a more frequent basis. So I think understanding a student's understanding of their own needs for feedback and at what intervals, I think would be helpful as part of the conversations that you would have with the advisor.
Well, it varies. Some people I've discovered are very closed, actually, and other people you get to know a lot better. And so I just follow their lead. Some students, I just see them, once a semester, talk to them when they just want to know what my classes should be and these kinds of things. Other students I get to know a lot better, just based on personalities. And it's kind of interesting, some people, you get to know them and you get to know them on a personal level because it helps you advise them better. But it doesn't mean I can't be a good advisor just giving you information on that. But a lot of people feel like they're very closed and personal, and you don't need to know about my personal life kind of thing, and that's fine too. But it just really depends. But I just feel like I can be a better advisor if I know you. I know you beyond the classroom.
I think the first thing to do would be to meet with the career staff. I think that the course selections and a lot of the academic advising should always follow career counseling. It helps us to really identify the classes and the opportunities that are going to best serve the student. I always like to circle them back to the fact that they're here for a reason, and that reason is to get them the right job when they leave.